Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's great to be with you this Friday morning. Today is May 31st, 2024. So it's the last day of the month of May. I hope that all of you have had a very successful and a very profitable month of May. The goal is that each of our distribution partners generates at least 100,000 a month, which isn't too good to be true. It's just following the numbers. And we'll talk more about how those numbers can progress in a minute. Regardless, we have June starting tomorrow. So regardless how May turned out for you, we certainly have the opportunity to make June a very profitable one. Today's topic is talking about an implementation change that we're making that frankly puts burden on us, which is okay, to generate quicker value for the client and to give you another talking point to close more deals more quickly. So the Startup Business Funding Package, which is shared here on the screen, is our bread and butter. We applied for a grant last year. We received the grant. And the premise is that there are lots of small business owners that want to need capital to start and grow. I think that's a fact. I don't think anyone could argue that. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small business owners want and need money. But what's the problem? Because there's banks on nearly every corner, credit unions, online lenders, alternative lenders. There's no shortage of money. There's absolutely no shortage of money. So where's the breakdown? If you have all these small business owners that want money and all these lenders that want to loan money, where's the problem? Well, the problem is most small businesses are not fundable. They don't meet the underwriting criteria to get approved. That's what we do. That's what you and I do through the Startup Business Funding Program. Not too good to be true, not smoke and mirrors. We tell everyone exactly how the program works. We delineate the deliverables in a bulleted, easy to read fashion, and we've integrated in a brief training video. I'll pull it up here, pause it, that shows the 4 phases that clients go through. So if we were to draw an analogy to you and I getting together tonight to make lasagna, what would we need? We would need a recipe, and then we would need the ingredients. Well, we're showing everyone the recipe. What does it take to be fundable? They can watch this video and they'll understand exactly the recipe. There's no mystery. There's no secret. It's not like they have to pay to learn. Financial literacy is a big part of what we do. But if they want our help with the ingredients to make the lasagna, as identified here, then they would enroll, and they would enroll through you. So we have 2 different distribution partner roles now, as we talked about yesterday. We have our affiliates. Our affiliates essentially just refer in, get paid, and do nothing else. And that's fine. There's a big market in our society for affiliate-based programs. You could be an affiliate for Amazon. You could be an affiliate for Experian. You could be an affiliate for us. You'll receive a free landing page like this. There's no selling involved, no servicing involved. Everyone that comes through, that goes through the process, you're getting a minimum of 5,000. So it's not a big deal, probably to a lot of you, but an extra 5,000 for referring someone to your landing page, not all bad. What many of you are proving successful is bringing people through your landing page, getting them their first round of funding, and then bringing them into the Startup Business Funding Program so we can create a fundable business. However, you certainly can bring clients directly into the Startup Business Funding Package. You don't have to take an intermittent step. The Startup Business Funding Package does have a cost. It's not free. And it does have an upfront cost. So that's different than the proposition coming through here. Here, clients can come in, get a free funding proposal, no upfront cost, pick the offers that they want, and they're paying after getting funded. Here, this is different because there's a bunch of deliverables that are being provided, and there's a cost for that. Therefore, there is an upfront cost. So those of you that are branch offices, if you were to enroll a client in the Startup Business Funding Package, the client would be paying you $2,500 to enroll. Now, you can make that refundable to them if you want, but separate from that, there is an upfront cost. If they don't trust you enough to pay $2,500 and you've not been able to educate them adequately, then of course, back down, bring them through this, get them their first round of funding. Now they'll trust you and then they'll pay you. However, the value proposition is strong, and so you should be familiar with it. If you're not very familiar with the Startup Business Funding Package on chapmanloanprogram.org, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's a certification curriculum. Free, didn't cost anything. You can go through it. There's 5 modules. It'll take you 2 to 3 hours. That will help you understand very specifically how this model works, how you get paid, which is in module 4, and so forth. Today's topic is a change in process. So it doesn't change the contract to the client, but it's just changing how quickly we provide one of the deliverables. So again, lots of different deliverables included. All of those are incorporated into the client agreement. All of you who are a branch office should have an editable version of the client agreement. So clients, when they're paying you the $2,500, they have the certainty of what they're going to get by signing the contract with you as a branch office. Today's topic is specifically on the quick cash. So this isn't changed. This website hasn't changed. This is the same bullet that's been there. Let me pull up the notes. The difference is we're going to do this sooner. So let's go through the notes here. So our topic today is a new implementation process. Frankly, it doesn't change what you do, just changes what we do. And so we're going to start immediately delivering the 10,000 of quick cash highlighted here to clients in their first 24 hours. Historically, we've not delivered it normally in the first 24 hours, not because of a hesitancy or an unwillingness to do so. It just fits most naturally in phase 3. And if you don't know about phase 3, you can watch this video. And the third dot here is phase 3. And if you go down here and watch training certification module 1, it'll teach you more about it. But specifically, we're going to move the quick cash to very early on, almost immediate. So background, all clients who enroll in the business startup program, so they're enrolling through you, they're paying you the $2,500. Again, if they don't trust you enough or don't have the $2,500, what are you going to do? You'll bring them through the funding proposal first. So we're going to provide all these same deliverables. The difference is we're going to do this early on. So let's continue on. Remember, the quick cash, the 10,000, it's real, it's legal, and it's not debt. So if you're not explaining if you are a branch, again, if you're just an affiliate, you don't really need to explain any of this. You just make this paragraph introduction and have them fill out your page. That's why we separated the branch role from the affiliate role, because branches are more sophisticated and more involved in the process. So the quick cash is not a loan. It's not a debt. Through the grant, it's provided to each participant for free when they enroll. It's a perk of participation. So we want to make sure they know it's not a debt. They don't have to pay it back. One of the questions that we've received frequently is, well, what if they want more than 10,000 quick cash? Yes, we can do more. Let's take, we have Sparkle, one of our branch offices. Yesterday, one of her clients wanted 100,000 instead of 10,000 transferred over to him yesterday. And we actually did that. So yesterday we transferred 100,000 to Mr. Reed, Sparkle's client. All right, so let's continue on here. So what this is doing is providing faster benefits to clients. So effective today, we're going to start transferring this 10,000 within 1 business day. So again, there's never been a problem with us delivering that deliverable. It fits most logically over here in phase 3. And you can again watch this training video if you don't remember what phase 3 is. But now we're going to do it on the front end. So they're getting it right away. So what are the benefits to the clients? How does it help them? That's our next section here. Let's make this smaller so we can focus in together. Okay, so how does it help clients? Number one, instead of waiting until phase three, as I've discussed a couple times, we'll move this to the front end. We get that 10,000 over to them, so that strengthens their financials right away. One of the big points that you and I often talk about to clients is even though they may have an early stage business, it still needs to look strong. It still needs to look credible. It still needs to look fundable, or they won't be able to qualify for larger amounts of business funding. So what is it you and I do? Well, through the Startup Business Funding package, we are legally and ethically strengthening the business's presence on paper. And so this is a way to do that even quicker. Once that 10,000 is transferred over to them. So again, this isn't changing what you do. It's just putting a lot bigger burden on us to process it quickly, but that's fine. Once that 10,000 is transferred over to the client, like we did to Mr. Reed already yesterday, Sparkle's client, then we can immediately liquidate that. And we'll talk more about liquidation here in a minute. And then, of course, what could a client do with the first 10,000? So it's not changing the whole proposition. You know, there's all these other bullets, everything else that we said we were doing, we're still doing. It's just we're giving this benefit early on. It's like when you go to a restaurant, if you order an appetizer, it should come out early. It should come out first so you can enjoy it while the chef is preparing your lobster bisque or whatever else you're eating. So it just provides more immediate benefit to the client. Because of it being more immediate, I think that you can leverage that to be able to close more deals. All right, so now let's go through the process. What is the process? So, of course, as always, if you're a branch office, what do you need to do? You need to sign clients up for the business startup program. Well, why would they want to sign up? They want business funding. Are they paying for funding? No, they're paying to get assistance to become fundable. If they were already fundable, they wouldn't frankly need you and I. But most businesses are not fundable. If you don't know what it takes to be fundable, again, watch the training video. We've discussed it many times before. So that's what we're doing, is helping them become fundable. The benefit to you is you're getting paid $2,500 the same day. So literally today, if you enrolled someone in the startup funding package, you would be paid today, which is great. Great turnaround. You deserve that. Now, of course, you're also paid again every time the client gets a capital raise. Every tranche of funding, you're paid a performance fee, and you actually get to pick what that performance fee is. Most of you are choosing around 19 to 20%. So if the client gets 100,000, then you're making 20,000. If the client gets 200,000, you're getting 40,000, but you control that. So again, this program is offered by our branch offices. These, no offense, these are the smarter, more capable distribution partners that are more involved versus the affiliates who only need to know enough to refer people to the free landing page that we give them to get a funding offer. But one of the best practices that many of you have been doing is bringing people here first, building trust, getting them funded, then as a second step, bringing them here. But this can be the first step. Hopefully that's clear. All right, so first, you get the client under contract. You should have an editable version of that contract. If you don't, let us know. We'll make sure you have it. You should have that contract. Client signs with you. Now, Sarah's asking, what if the client just wants to sign directly with us? Well, we have a two-step process, which is outlined here. And so anyone that wants to come in directly with us would come here. But if you're a branch office, you would want to run them through your branch. But you're right. If you're not a branch office and you want to just refer people in, it's right here on Chapman Loan Program. All right. So then the client's now going to receive the 10,000 either same day or next day. I'd rather promise next day to give us a little bit of cushion because there's paperwork involved with transferring the $10,000 in assets over. Then, of course, we continue on with the program. So everything that you've learned so far, or all the resources, are still applicable. The 4 phases, the deliverables, none of that's changed. It's just removing one of the deliverables to the very front end to create more immediate benefit for the client and to give you a stronger proposition to be able to close more deals. So once that 10,000 is transferred, like for Mr. Reed yesterday, it was transferred to him same day, within the same day, not even the next day. Then we can help the client liquidate those, because remember, the 10,000 that's being transferred over are receivables, accounts receivables. So then we can put them on the balance sheet, we can factor them, we can help the client liquidate them if they desire. So let's see what else we have. And then, of course, how to contact us if you need assistance. If you're not really familiar with the ChapmanLoanProgram.org, strongly encourage you to get familiar. We'll close this for a moment. A lot of resources. And again, the free certification. If you want to become one of our branch offices, which we call the Opportunity Fund, you're welcome to do that as well. Who has questions, comments, concerns on the topic today, which is, well, I guess in the broader sense, please be considerate that the best practice is to bring people in for a free funding proposal, build their trust, get them money, and then enroll them in the startup program if they need it. That's the secondary message. The primary message is that we're going to move the quick cash transfer to the front end of the process. All right, Chris is asking about the factoring. So I mentioned factoring. So once the 10,000 has been transferred over to the client, there's a few things that we could do. And if the client wants, they could factor it, which means take an advance off of it. We work with a bank that will advance 97 cents on the dollar. So of that 10,000, the bank transfers 9,700 over to the client. So this, and just keep in mind, quick cash is not a cash transfer. That's almost too good to be true. We're not wiring over 10,000. We're transferring over 10,000 in accounts receivables that can be then factored, liquidated, so forth. So then Eric followed up with, what are other ways to liquidate? Well, accounts receivables. I mean, we all know what accounts receivables are, right? Accounting 101. You and I start a lawn care business. We go cut someone's yard. We put an invoice on their front door. Now we have an accounts receivable, right? That person owes us $20 or whatever it is for mowing their yard. That's an AR. So in business, AR can be bought and sold. It's very, very popular. It's legal, it's ethical, it's mainstream, it's not fringe. So what we're doing is moving AR over to the client. Now it's money owed to them, so they can collect it, and they can also factor. And if they need help collecting it, we can help them collect it. So hopefully, Eric, that makes sense. So questions, comments, concerns on the startup business funding package. I realize those of you that are our regulars, we spent a lot of time over the past week or two talking about the free funding proposal. Not a change of who we are or what we do, but this is a very, very effective strategy for those of you who need assistance in creating a pipeline, because we have a few of you that aren't able to present themselves in such a way that the prospective clients trust them. So if someone doesn't trust the branch office, it's difficult for the branch to collect $2,500 for them. Even though the program's great, we'll do all these things, it's needed, all pluses. If you as the branch office don't seem trustworthy to the prospect, they may not pay you. So what we've spent a lot of time and energy is building a system to make it very simple for those of you that have trouble generating trust with clients. And that is to get them in, get them a free funding proposal, get them money in their pocket, and then they will most likely trust you and then take that next step. But again, people can come, and every day we have lots of people that enroll directly into the startup funding package. This is just more of a crutch for those of you that want help building a pipeline and or just want an easier approach. All right, so back to the startup package. But this is our bread and butter because this is really what's needed. This is what the grant was about. A lot of small businesses want and need funding, but they're not qualified. I sometimes have some of our branch offices get kind of pissy and snippety. So it's because there's this disconnect. It does not matter how badly your client wants money. It doesn't matter how badly your client needs money. Those are not underwriting criteria. Underwriting criteria is based around the 3 C's: credit, business credit, collateral, and capacity. And that's what we're doing, is building out fundable businesses. So sometimes some of you will get a little wiry, but we just simply have to understand you can't just demand that a bank loan your client money. It doesn't work that way. That's unreasonable. What we have to do is qualify for it, and that's exactly what our program does. And there's no risk to the client. It works 100% of the time if they follow through. All right, so Cedric is asking, let me pull back up the notes. So we have thousands, probably tens of thousands of clients already in the system. So I don't know that we have the bandwidth to go back and immediately transfer the QUICKCASH to everyone historically. But here's what I'll commit to you, Cedric, and anyone else. Obviously, any of your clients that are enrolled in the startup program, they should be assigned one of our advisors. There's a handful of us, myself and a few others, that are assigned. Every client has an advisor. Could be me or one of the others. The client should be scheduling weekly calls. That's the expectation. And also you, as a distribution partner, should be scheduling weekly calls. So what I'll say to you is this, Cedric, is when your client has the next weekly call with us, what we can do is prioritize it on that next weekly call, because there's just no earthly way that we could generate an immediate deliverable for 10,000 plus clients. But going forward, we'll do it. And then anyone that's already in on our next call, we'll prioritize it on our next implementation call. How does that sound? All right. Charles is asking about the discussion we had yesterday. Yesterday we talked, if you didn't see yesterday's training, really important. We talked about the difference between the affiliate model, bringing people in, refer in, get paid, do nothing else, and the branch model, where you're actually contracting with the client, working with the client. If you are a branch and you don't want to be a branch anymore, what we ask you to do is to reach out to us. And of course, our information is here on the website, because there's paperwork that needs to be done, right? It's not accurate to say, oh, I can just think, I don't care anymore, I don't want to be a branch. We have promises to you, you have promises to us. So if we want to make that change from branch to affiliate, we need to get together and facilitate that. Karen says something entirely wrong. And Karen, you're so smart, sometimes you're thinking at a higher level than me. So Karen is saying not everyone gets the 10,000. That's a horrible misunderstanding of what I said. It's a horrible misunderstanding of the client agreement, as well as what we're literally talking about today. Everyone gets it. But what we've been announcing, Karen, for the past 24 minutes is that we're going to prioritize this on the front end, effective immediately for all clients that are coming in today going forward. For those clients that are already with us, yes, of course, they'll still get this, but it won't be in the next 24 hours. That's too good to be true. On our next scheduled call, we'll facilitate that. Make sense, Karen? All right. Cedric's talking about, well, how much QUICKCASH does a client need? How does that work? Well, we need to build strong financials for the client. And again, this training will help you, as well as module 1. And so how much collateral does a client need? It depends. How much funding do they want? And how much collateral do they bring to the table initially? So it's a mathematical formula, Cedric. So based upon how much funding the client wants, how much collateral they bring, the difference, if there's a shortfall, is called a collateral shortfall. We bring to the table at no cost to them 10,000. let's say they want more than 10,000. Let's say they want 100,000. The most, and again, I'm very transparent, probably to a fault. The most we've ever transferred to one client is 3 million. And that was that law firm in Austin you've heard me talk about, probably. But we could theoretically transfer 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million. I don't know that we could come up with 100 million, but we could provide whatever they need to resolve the collateral shortfall. But we don't want to just jump to that, right? We need to diagnose the client's mitigating circumstances and go from there. So what that means is we would be working with them to put together their balance sheet, their uses of funds, and then determining what type of collateral shortfall they have. We don't want to just say, hey, you need 100,000 or a million. Let's get them what they get for free. Let's build out their balance sheet. Let's look at everything and see if they have a shortfall. I would rather manage with data than just shoot from the hip. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Exciting conversation. This is another arrow in your quiver to close more deals more quickly. And we will see you back tomorrow. I'm sorry, Monday morning. If you need us before then, you know how to reach us. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.